with a podcast.
All right, welcome to the May 2024 webinar session for the National Tradeswomen Committee. We're very excited to have you all on for our topic discussion around mental health and suicide awareness for the month of May. And our chair of the Tradeswomen Committee is the fabulous Erica Braxton from the local unions out in New Jersey's plumber and pipe fitter. So welcome, Erica.
Hello, everyone. Oh, okay. Oh, let me fix this. I'm in my car. Good to see everyone. Okay. Let's. Oh no.
Yep, we got you. We got you.
All right.
Yep. In true fashion, she comes straight to the jobs from the job site to the webinar. So
Yes. And today I actually I want to apologize. I got my dates wrong. I was thinking it was next week, and I guess it'll work out a little more. I wanted to have more details. I'm going to pull up like some statistics on my iPad. That's why you see my name over here 2 times. I had a little problem with my laptop with what I wanted to present. I said, oh, I think I could find them, the websites that I went on. And normally we have a smaller, intimate setting. So I kind of like that, so it could be a little more interactive this time. You know, everybody could just share as much as they want to. If they have more questions, and I'm going to do a follow-up to this with, I guess, just listing the presentations where anybody could email, and I could email the report that I had done up talking about this.
all right, Erica, I'm going to put your email address in the chat for everybody, okay?
Okay. Well, I want to start off by saying just wanting to bring awareness. A lot of people they don't realize that our statistics rate of suicide working in the trades, and this is overall from all aspects that they take these statistics. That's from working in the tools all the way up to CEO ownership of the actual construction company. You know, we face a lot of deadlines, a lot of pressures, and the statistics show some show as low as 2.5% higher, and there are a few reports that give it as up to 4% higher than other professions. So I always tell people now, with so many other things that's going on here now, you know, with mental health, substance abuse, all that plays into a factor within people just unable to find the right outlets to cope. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of the National 988 number. If you're having any suicidal thoughts, or you know anyone else, that there's resources out there. A lot of people feel, oh, I don't have enough insurance. But again, there are a few national, I guess it would be federal resources. But I tell everybody, one of the most common free resources, and you can use this for a lot of things, is Catholic Charities. They do a lot of work within mental health. You don't have to be Catholic. You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to have any religion. So they personally do a lot of work with, they have resources set up for adults, counseling, children, and what was the third one? Adult, children, and marital counseling. There's resources out there, and I myself personally, I tell everybody, my door is always open. If people want telephone number, email, reach out. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I try to help. And for the people who are on the calls who work for the larger companies that have and the employee assistance division of companies, please reach out, use them. That's what the insurance is for. There is no shame. A lot of people use counseling just for another point of view. So that, the resources out there, anyone is struggling, I say reach out to, if you have HR, you let them know these are the services you need. We have to remove the stigma of mental health solutions. That's how I like to say it. You just put it as solutions. It's out there. You got to be persistent sometimes. If you are seeing someone now for help and that particular person, you don't like them or you feel you're not progressing, don't be afraid to say, hey, this is not working out, and you find someone else. The mental health is just as important as any other part of your body. You're sick, stomach ache, that doctor's not treating you well, solution, your stomach ache is going on for weeks. You seek out more help for a different doctor. We have to do the same thing like that with mental health. Let me. Okay. I'm really
Thanks.
going off the
Yeah,
cuff.
thanks. Thanks for that, Erica. I appreciate that. I think the main thing you were trying to get across there, though, is just to say it's okay to not be okay, right? Like it's
Yeah.
okay to not be okay, and it's totally okay to say, hey, I need to talk to somebody about this and seek that out. I think, talk therapy is something that's a little underrated. Like, I'm a person, when I process through a problem, I have to talk it out. And I don't think that is talked about, no pun intended, but I don't think that's talked about a whole lot. But especially, I think women process those things differently. And for our mental health, I think talk therapy can be a good resource as well. And there's some free resources out there for talk therapy as well.
Now for our attendees, is there anything that you guys want to discuss? Any resources that you're looking for? You want to type it in the chat and not come online? That's fine. Is there anything particular that you guys want information on or anything? Let's see. We've got what, 4 people online right now. I think I see maybe some regulars who've been hanging in there with us. I don't know. I was really expecting that it wouldn't be too many people on, and I should have followed my mind and kind of like backtracked. I said, "Oh, I've got time to fill in." And I don't know how many people was gonna it's gonna show up today. And like I said, I want to apologize. I dropped the ball with this, not having. I like a slideshow, and I actually got like a little refresher with my sister who works in IT. I said, I need to be able to know how to present these things on Zoom. And she gave me a little refresher like maybe 4 days ago. So, I felt pretty good. I was like, oh, I got some time and everything else. And I was actually bad with that. Oh, let's see. We've got uh in the chat. Okay. Okay. How best can we approach someone with compassion that we see struggling but may not realize it themselves? Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that because I personally had to deal with that. So I think it would depend on your actual relationship. If this is someone that's close friend, family member, you could be a little more forthcoming and say, you may not realize this, but I noticed X, Y, and Z is happening, or it seems as if you're struggling with such and such, and depending on the severity of the help that you think that they need, that's where you go from there. You might say, oh, like if you see maybe the person is just like really blowing up with things, so you can say, oh, maybe you might need a break from this, or you casually mention, maybe somebody else might be able to help you overcome these challenges. Now, if it's I guess a coworker or a superior, see, that's kind of touchy. You may need to reach out to someone else if it's affecting their work and your working environment. I mean, I know some people hate to say that they want to go up higher and above to human resources, but sometimes what they say, CYA, you have to cover yourself to say that you took the proper steps in reporting something. I mean, I subscribe to the rule, see something, say something. So no matter what, I don't think you can really go wrong in alerting somebody. See, that you have to tread waters there, because sometimes people will go back and say, so and so said you're doing this at work. So like I said, that would like really depend on the work environment. If you with a smaller mom and pop outfit as opposed to somebody that's larger, the Turner Skanskas that have more resources. But the main thing is to say something, and I applaud everybody to. It's better to say the wrong thing and saying something, I think, than to say nothing at all. And you see somebody struggling and they really need help.
Yeah.
I look at it, you're saving that person, and you never know who you are saving on the job nowadays, because sometimes the littlest thing, and you're reading the paper, you see these workplace incidents, and people blow up, and only you hear afterwards, oh, I didn't know, I didn't think it was that bad. Sometimes the people, co-workers, know that the person is going through something, and they are afraid to say something. So it's always best to say something.
Yeah. When you work with someone every day, day in, day out, you kind of notice their little quirks, right? Like their mannerisms and how they behave. And once you kind of have that, after you've been around them for a while, whether you're, buddy with them or not, they're still your coworker, and you see and interact with them. And, when you see that they're struggling, maybe in a, hey, do you have a second? I need to ask you something. And maybe just pull them to a side and say, hey, are you okay? I noticed that you seem distracted, or, maybe something like that. You don't seem like yourself lately. Are you okay? Those are perfectly good questions to ask, or okay questions to ask, to try and be an icebreaker, and also let them know that you're open to hearing what they have to say about it.
Yes, I definitely agree. And like Ali said, for icebreaker, that another thing is to somehow you show the empathy by saying, oh, this is, you also break the ice asking everything is okay, because I know this has been a hectic week for me, or this is at work. When you show something, you have something in common with that person, it's easier for them to open up to say something. And we're talking about this, we can't forget, not just us, everybody on the call, I'm assuming we're all women, sisters here, and we have a lot on our shoulders. We tend to take the load in the family, a lot of times the lead on a job, a lot of things fall on our lap, and dealing with that, to add something else on, you have to worry about your other family members too. So now you read and see about so many things happening now with these younger children in the mental health. we lead such busy lives now because, so hard. More studies show there's more hours being put in on the jobs, no matter what trade or profession you're in. More and more people are taking side hustles, or just part-time jobs, doing whatever. So sometimes it's like a little less oversight with other family members, especially our children. So even though this workshop is this webinar directly addresses us women in construction, we always got to think about that too. The other family members, because I hate to say it, when anything happens, normally even in a two-parent household, oh, the mother didn't notice this, she didn't notice that. It's not usually, oh, the parents or the father. First thing they tend to is say the mother. Everything falls on, the women of the family shoulders. And I mentioned that in my little report. They even mentioned that even with siblings. His sister didn't notice that, and there'll be a brother and a sister there, and that's what they normally say, because normally women are a little bit more intuitive with things, but we can't catch everything. But that's what the world expects us to be, the most noticeable thing. So those are also the things we have to worry about, making sure the children are more open, being forthcoming with their problems. And it's the same thing too. A lot of communities have resources within the school. So that's another thing that you don't want to bypass for children. And a lot of communities have family resources there also. Let's see if it's anything else. My coworker is coming over here. I don't know why he's over here next to me, even though I got a laptop over here and I have to shoo him away from my window. And he's crazy. And he wants me to roll down my window. That's a typical man for you, even though it's obvious that I'm doing something here.
Oh man.
He
Well,
come up, he come over
yeah.
to turn my ear on. Let's see. Any anything else?
So I've got some statistics to share if everybody's okay with that, just to kind of keep the conversation going. According to Insights, 53.3 out of every 100,000 construction workers commit suicide. This is higher than the national average of 14.2 and about twice the rate for other occupations. For example, the suicide rate for men in construction is 56, while for women it's 10.4. So I know in some of the research that I've done, it's really heartbreaking actually, that we're having these kinds of things, but it's a compounding issue, right? Like we have a lot of things happening with the men in our industry right now. 46% of our industry is aging out of the industry. They're reaching retirement age. They may have had an injury along their career that prevents them from being able to work at full capacity. Injuries can lead to opioid addiction, depression, alcohol and drug abuse to try and manage the pain instead of using opioids. There's a lot of compounding things. And of course, alcohol is a depressant, marijuana is a depressant, and some of our workers are turning to things like that to manage their pain instead of opioids or a combination of them, which leads to even more depression. And then it turns into suicidal thoughts. And ultimately, it's about controlling the negative self-talk that's in our heads and trying to keep people with a positive mindset, to try and curb some of those negative self-talk thoughts and things like that. Men particularly struggle with having to leave their jobs because they're innate providers, right? They want to take care of their families. They want to provide the whether it's the retirement or the pension plans and things like that. And when they leave work, and many of us have worked many hours, every week for the majority of our adult lives, and then all of a sudden there's nothing to do. And so they find themselves in a predicament that way because they don't know where to positively channel all the energy that they were putting into work. So that's why we see such a high rate of suicide among men in our industry. It's just some of the reasons why. Does anybody have any input around that or any additional thoughts on that?
I want to follow up with that. Also, another additional reason they feel, because the studies want to know why the construction rate is higher. Like Ali mentioned, those other factors with the opioid use. They also mentioned like job strain, long work hours. That wait, what is it? Job strain and long work hours is, and maybe important occupational risk factors for suicidal thoughts and working conditions. And now they list creating and maintaining healthy work organizations an important strategy for preventing worker suicides. So now how they mention healthy work organizations. A lot of times in construction, it's not so healthy with the deadlines, other issues that have to be met, the constant pressure, losses when when a job goes over, bitten, just that particular stress. They realize this is just a stressful occupation. I mean, for some people thrive on, and others, when the downtime is good, but when it's crunch time, it's overwhelming for a lot of people. I want to put in.
Yeah, I just put a link into the 988lifeline.org. So that's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. So everybody has that resource for that in case they need it or need to share it with anyone.
Do you have can you still type now also? Can you
Yes.
type in preventconstructionsuicide.com? They have a training if you want to try to implement that in your workplace for some of the signs when you see someone under duress. So that's preventconstructionsuicide.com.
Oops, I misspelled it. Let me put it back in there, guys. Sorry.
The Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention. That's their website, and they're raising awareness about the risk of suicide within the construction industry. And they also provide other links, resources. I'm pretty sure, I think you could order job site posters with that, because it was also a study that was shown just by having bumper stickers, posters, anything up saying when it used to be the 800 number for suicide prevention. They did a study that showed the link. Even if you didn't talk about it or anything else, like by just having that information there, people seeing it day in, day out, they reached out to those organizations. They sought help. More places that bring up awareness, even if they don't have any programs in place, just having the number visible draws more people into seeking out help. And let me see the other one. Of course, you can always reach out to OSHA. They have within that website, they have a whole what's the section? They talk about that too. They touch on that. What are some of the I don't want to say triggers because that's not the word they use, but what some of the things that well, I guess triggers that would be the best thing that will they show the connection within construction. That and what is the other website? It's the suicide. Let me see here. The Suicide Prevention Resource Center. So that's sprc.org. Now they even go into they talk about what did they mention? They will they talk about the approaches of how to prevent suicide. And they even go into detail if there's a suicide on a job. They tell you the resources, the things that you should be providing for employees. Because a lot of people don't realize that even if it's that, I mean, they go into detail if the suicide actually happened on the job, but people don't even know that even with coworkers, they say that even if you're not close to the coworkers, they see the connection that has made that brings up sometimes depression, hopelessness when a coworker has succumbed to mental illness. That gets other people thinking,